So, in this second series, we are using our intellect to create a deeper understanding of this journey of Eastern wisdom. Initially, we started, today is going to be the fifth one, so contemplation. We understood what is contemplation. And we also understand that knowledge settles by contemplation and reflection. What is smartwatch? I know smartwatch, that is all. So that knowledge of the smartwatch is that I know the few tips. That is one thing. Or I know I have an expertise. I can open it and fix it. So that knowledge settles by contemplation and reflection. So what happens, this intellect helps us to recognize the confusion and the wrong notions that we have. You wake up in the morning and you have a headache. So the mind instantly, habitually says, I have a headache. So it goes for a solution. Does the real self prompts me to take a pill, or it is happening in the mind? Are you getting it? No, my honey is crazy, so then I become sad. Now, who prompts me? Who prompts me that leads to these experiences? We need this intellect to remain active and aware. Then only we can move into the higher consciousness. And the last week we see 3 stages of delusion. Do you still remember? I wonder. Do you still remember the last week we took it? 3 stages. Where is Lara? Has come, and yes, she has come. So last week we understood the 3 stages of the wrong notions created by the mind, and then that mind takes over my intellect. And when it takes over my intellect, then what happens? Then I am stressed, I suffer, I have anxiety, reaction, duality, conflict all the time. Do I want to live like this? Who cares? I'm very busy. I have lot of things to do. Hence, let this wrong notion in the delusion continue. Now that continues and gives you the anxiety, reaction. At the same time, the second part of the mind is seeking peace and happiness. How it is possible? It is not possible. We are understanding it has nothing to do with the cult, dogma, belief, religion, blind belief. No, we are understanding. That is the beauty of the Eastern wisdom. That includes yoga, Tantra, mantra, meditation, Kundalini, mindfulness. We don't have time. Let's have an instant meditation, instant coffee. It will not work in our life. We need to appreciate our intellect. We are given an intellect by the existence. No, I have lot of things to do. Who will listen to this beard guy? Don't listen. Listen to your own intellect. This is the journey. So this tradition reveals the knowledge. What do you mean by tradition? Tradition means the knowledge is passed on to us and it is given to seekers by a method. Understand, this is what the tradition is. No, I follow 20 years old tradition. I told you the story of a beautiful girl who went into 3 surgeries. I have 20 years of experience plus 3 spinal surgeries because you over twist your spine to demonstrate what you can do. So whatever understanding the teacher has should also be revealed in the seeker's intellect. That is very important part of the tradition. Did you get it? Whatever the knowledge teacher has should also be revealed in the seekers. How it can be revealed? If you contemplate and reflect. Otherwise, it will become a fiction, a fiction book. I read everything and I got it. I know. No. That will not work. Understand. So let us contemplate about ignorance and wisdom. You see how beautiful if you contemplate and reflect. In ignorance, I am a human being, and in wisdom, I am the real self. That much is required. You might have spent some time before the mirror attending this session. So that image is reflected as a human being. And when the mind is pure, real self is reflected inside. That much is required. That much needs to be contemplated and reflected on. Now think, compare. You might have pets, Ashok was talking about, he has 2 rabbits. Her hair is very good. Can dog contemplate and reflect? Can rabbit contemplate and reflect? I have a treasure given to me as a human being, and we don't want to use this. We can awaken and realize our true nature only in this human frame, not in the body of a hare or rabbit or dog or in a cat. This human body, human frame is blessing to us by the existence. We don't know. We are born as a human being. Ask your intellect why I am born as a human being. Don't start putting a wrong notion. Oh, do you want to say that we are more intelligent than the animals? Definitely. If it is so, then we are. No, they are also living being and we are also living being. They cannot make a choice, we can make a choice. That is a blessing to us. Take care of all the animals. Go to the animal activist, but first take care of yourself. I love cat, stop giving food to your pet and see whether they love you or not. Now they are also living being. We have to give food. You are the only person who has to take care of the entire animal kingdom. I'm not saying, don't have the pet. Have the pet. Have 5, 6, 10, whatever you see. Think of this. Our master says that we are rare to be born as a human being. I did not have a choice. And that being rare, I should desire for freedom from bondage. No, none of your pet can desire for freedom. If they have an intellect, if they desire for the freedom, they will definitely leave your house. You may claim that they love you. And if you do not agree with me, keep the door open. Rare. We should be blessed. We are blessed. So last week we covered the pleasure seeker. One thing, pleasure seeker and the real self seeker. I can make a difference. I am a pleasure seeker in this world. I will continue to suffer. All the animals have to be a pleasure seeker because they live at the low level of self-awareness. For all practical purposes, they are the body. They claim they are the body. That is why we talk of animal instincts. Do you see that? Just check it. And that is why no animals commit sin. They are not sinners. They do not commit any virtue. Why? They are the body. That's all. But they have the body. We have this human frame which is rare because higher self-awareness and the free intellect lives here. Do you see that? Do I realize that? So when the higher self-awareness lives here, the intellect lives here, I can find the truth. And the truth always triumphs. What we are doing in our life. We are getting carried away by wrong notions, wrong ideas. We fall prey to very small things. I don't like this. I react to this. I like this. I dislike this. That is the way we spend our entire life, entire day, weeks, months in together, years together. You see, we can analyze our day-to-day life. What is our life? You say this beer guy is equal to few cherished emotions plus few likes and dislikes plus few pleasures plus few hours of session. That is our life. Don't we want to change? Think of this. And plus few years of the past impression that I carry forward. Last year I fought with you, I disliked you, I hated you. We can get rid of this 100% by the intellect. Think of this. That is why we say, I do not know, let me know it. The moment you have any anxiety, tell your mind from the intellect, because I do not know, there are some wrong notions, That is why I am in anxiety, I am in reaction, I am in duality. This is for the seekers, not for the layman. What will happen? The intellect will start exploring, it will contemplate and reflect, and it will find out, mind, you are going outside, you are attached. You are searching peace and happiness in an object, in a person, in a thing outside. That is why you have this anxiety. Now think of this. When the intellect reflects on this, what will happen to the reaction, anxiety, duality, and a conflict? What will happen? That mind naturally moves inside and succeeds in meditation. Think of this. Now we are seriously pursuing because we all are seekers. I'm thankful to you all because you are giving me a chance to speak out. You know, that will give you an answer what prevents me to sit in meditation for awakening. Because mind is running outside, we have already answered. So when this intellect is sure that why my mind is running outside, I need not to complain but that mind is always running outside. That is why I did not succeed in meditation. Now the intellect is clear, and when the intellect is clear, you are good to go. Exactly, you found the address. Do you see that? So that is why our master says that I have to think, I have to live in higher self-awareness using my intellect. I should not get carried away. This is what the contemplation and reflection is. My mind goes back to Swami Vivekananda, who came here in 1893 in US, gave a world famous lecture, and he never taught any physical asanas, hatha yoga. The first time Americans were introduced to yoga, he taught all these stuff. That is what we are learning. So meditation, now the mind is clear, free from the wrong notions. So what is meditation? So there, one master said, the mind merges into the real self. When it merges into the real self, it awakens to the real self. It awakens to the peace and happiness. So what happens? The mind, once there is a clarity, then the mind naturally has an inward moving tendency. It does not jump onto the different objects. It's not a big deal. Continue. While listening, ask a question to yourself. So next question may come that from where the mind brings all these thoughts. So we know because of the desires, from where the desire comes. Lot of questions. The more questions you ask, it will awaken your intellect. Simple thing, allow the intellect to contemplate and reflect. Remember, be very clear, desire for basic needs is a must for every living being. Basic needs. We must desire for the basic needs, and these basic needs for the human being changes very. I need a perfect computer and a monitor. That is my basic need. Otherwise, how I can give the lessons? So I always check maybe 5-10 minutes before that is internet clear, his monitor is working. So besides food, shelter and the clothes, whatever we are doing, there must be a basic needs must be met. Take a simple example. You are living in a joint family with the 10 members in the family. You have to wash the clothes. You need a washer and dryer. That is what the intellect sees. So what we are asking, the desire for seeking happiness outside must be dropped. I will be happy. I will be happy if I get this object. No. It is not for happiness. It is not for peace. It is for basic needs. Okay. But if I project that, there comes the problem. So we must be very clear about the two kinds of desire. If I earn couple of $1,000 today or in a month, I will be happy. Problem is there. But to earn with the basic, for my basic needs, perfectly all right. Then my intellect will focus on my activity, my creativity, my work. That is why we learned apply discernment, dispassion, desire for freedom with the 6 treasures. So when you apply with 6 treasures, then there is one more thing to understand before we go. We already know that why mind creates likes and dislikes. Because the moment the mind creates likes and dislikes, it takes the intellect hostage to live with them. And then the intellect also starts running with the mind in the same way. And that causes the problem. There is no any problem in the human life than desiring for peace and happiness outside, because it is within me. If the intellect is clear, it is holding on this knowledge, no one can give you any peace, any problem and suffering. That understanding should be 100% in the mind. Now see that what is the next question that comes to your mind? Think of it. The moment you think of it, you will find out. What question? When we ignore and continue to work with the likes and dislikes, the ignorance starts. First, the mind starts running outside. Second, it is running because of likes and dislikes. Third, likes and dislikes caused by not living consciously, not living from the intellect. Then what happens? The fourth step, the mind is carried away by the wrong notion that what I like will give me happiness. This is, everything is happening in the mind. And then the fifth, the mind says intellect, pushes the intellect behind, and then we enter into love, hate, loveless relationship, etc. And then the mind starts working on us, and that causes the suffering. You can underline in 5 or 6 steps. My friends, we need to contemplate and reflect. What it takes to contemplate and reflect? Your intellect. Why intellect? We are a human being. We are not comparing ourselves. We are not jealous that, the tiger has a stronger body than us. No. Tiger is never jealous of us. That's why they do not commit sin. The moment we start thinking, oh, you look at the tiger, look at the cow, they are happier. They eat from the mud and they are still happy. We are scared of our virus and infections and other things. So once you understand all the 6 steps, the way the mind creates a delusion, first from the likes and dislikes, then it starts running outside. Second, it is running because of likes and dislikes. Third, likes and dislikes caused by the mind working on us, or you can say not living my life consciously. Fourth, mind is carried away by the wrong thinking. Fifth, mind moves a step further and creates preferences. And when it creates preferences, the relationship with the objects and people in the world, mind has started working on me. Then there is no way. Have you ever experienced in your life that your mind has created an image about a person, and that image is about hatred? You want to be comfortable with that person, you can never become comfortable with that person. Your mind is looking for how to blame and complain and react about this person. The moment he leaves or she leaves, your mind has already created a story. Look at this guy, how he was looking at me, I hate this guy. Unnecessary, unwanted, not required. No tiger, no cows does this. No cat, no dog does this. But we do it because the mind is working on us. We need to dissolve 3 points. Drop it, dissolve it, destroy it. I use another acronym 3D. Long back, I started with 20 years ago. Drop it. Allow the intellect to have the right knowledge. It will drop by itself. If those impressions in the mind are not very strong, dissolve it. Contemplate and reflect again. It will dissolve by itself. If you repeat contemplation and reflection, but there are some impressions which cannot be destroyed, cannot be dropped, cannot be dissolved, I need a regular practice to do it. I need a regular contemplation and reflection on that person whom you hate. Whether the person is good or bad, that is secondary thing. I want to get rid of the craziness of my mind. That is my goal. You see? See the point? See the understanding? So that my mind can work freely. Mind should not work on me. I should work on the mind. So there are 3 steps. 3D, discernment, dispassion, and desire for freedom, plus 6 treasures. And here 3Ds means drop it, dissolve it, destroy it. Drop it if you understand. Sometime, those impressions have recently started taking the ground. It has not created a deep impression. It is not freezing. So you can drop it easily. Others dissolve it by repeated contemplation and reflection. If it is not regular practice, same thing has to be done. If you do that, that is what the contemplation is, and that will take you to a higher level of awareness and meditation. So let us start our journey now, practicing. Eyes are closed, body is steady, mind facing within. Check inward or outward moving mind. It will tell you if the mind is working on you or you are working on the mind. What did you say to the mind? Body is steady. Is mind ready to keep the body steady? Nobody is. You, Terry. We need a steadiness of the mind. We don't need the steadiness of the body. But for the sake of saying, body is steady. Now you see that, you know what happens when I see a different sessions, when I say make your body comfortable, we think as if I stretch my neck and shoulder and hip joints, then I will be comfortable. So it is the work of the physical mind. Mind is still attached to the body. It doesn't mean that if it demands, you should not do it. So body is steady. Mind is facing within. Now when the mind is looking inside the head, you will find out some ripples, some waves in the mind that attract the things outside. It may be a sound, it may be a temperature, it may be anything, whatever you think. It may be anything. Let it happen. Now, who is checking all this? It is your intellect. My friends, understand. That is why contemplation and reflection are important. Who can check? Intellect. Makes you aware of the body, the steadiness in the body. And the mind, you can understand, is it the inward moving tendency of the mind or outward moving tendency? Tendency, it is a tendency. Then simply look at the breath. Check the breath is equal, has an equal flow from both the nostrils or not. Just check it. And when the mind is facing within, it is looking at the space, emptiness, blankness, or moving outside with images, feeling, objects, and people. Now, what prevents the mind to stay within? Recognize when the mind is carried away by the thoughts, feeling, emotion, impressions, images. So what should I do? Let it come and go. We need that point of awareness which prevents the mind to have an inward moving tendency. And that brings us to being comfortable, moving the mind. Then comes being comfortable. Now the same intellect is moving the mind on the entire body, gaining an experience of sensation, comfort and steadiness. So I'm not using the word scan the body. We're not doing an X-ray of the body. Scan the body. And carefree mind. Carefree mind. Mind with the likes and dislikes, mind with the carefree attitude. Compare the two through your intellect. Oh, thoughts are coming, feeling coming, images. Every thought coming for reference is the past. That will help you to become casual, natural. And in that state of being natural, you get a glimpse of something beyond the mind. Oh, without doing anything, I'm calm, some sort of joy is there. That impression needs to be created again and again in the mind. Therefore, that is why we do the regular practice. And then we apply the knowledge to the mind by intellect so that the knowledge settles. The mind does not take over the intellect. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. May there be well-being for all. We are looking for common element. That is the knowledge. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. You can even say in Sanskrit or in English, both are okay. May there be well-being for all. We did not say whether they have a state of well-being or not. Do you see the knowledge coming from the intellect? No, every living being has a state of well-being, whether they know it or not. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. May there be peace for all. Mind constantly runs after the body and the mind to check if there is a peace there or not. That is a wrong notion, delusion, create. That needs to be done. Basic needs. I'm hungry, I will be agitated, not in peace. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Common element, peace. Every living being has a consciousness that is looking for peace. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. May there be completeness in all. We have that sense of completeness. Just look the completeness from the intellect. That makes a sense. I cannot be complete by achieving any object or a person outside. Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu. Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu. Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu. May there be happiness or auspiciousness for all. Auspicious means what is right and good ahead. I cannot change the past. And all the impressions and images and the thoughts enters into the mind pertains to the past, projecting the future. May there be auspiciousness in the past. You see, the intellect puts a gentle pressure on the mind. I know everything of the past. I lived my life in ignorance. The intellect says, may there be right and good ahead. From now. We did talk about 3D. 3D. Drop, dissolve, and destroy. So it is better to destroy. And we are learning a very simple start breathing short, simple, gentle breath from the rib cage, keeping your focus inside the forehead. Just continue quick, short, and gentle breathing from both the nostrils. But the intellect is keeping the mind aware of the space inside. Continue quick, short, and gentle breath through both the nostrils. And do nothing, just check the flow is equal or not, and accept and recognize both. Even if they are equal, very good. Not equal, good. We just recognize. A sense of freshness, temporary level, it's okay. Patanjali clearly says, Tato dharana sucha yogyata manasa. It gives an ability to the mind for a temporary period to live within, to keep its focus. But now we will hammer the one that we did last time, normal breathing. Check the body is in the state of steadiness, comfort and steadiness, and the breath is normal. You need not to change the breath. Remember this. Sensation, comfort and steadiness, and breath is normal. In that state, you look inside the forehead. So what we see, that you see that we look inside the forehead at a point in the space and start hammering through the mantra. Let us use the mantra Shantoham, 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 Shantoham. Quick, fast and loud in your mind. Why I said quick, fast and loud? So that the mind cannot invite any unwanted unwelcome thoughts and images from the past. It should be quick, fast, and loud. Sometimes you cannot do it. We need to do it. The third point comes destroying these impressions. It is because of these impressions we are not able to do it quick, fast, and loud, because mind contains lot of impressions. And now we are becoming aware of it. Sometime you will also discover, and now stop this and do nothing. So when you do nothing, just a point to understand, during the hammering you may find the body also started moving. It's okay, but just be aware, because inward moving tendency has not been achieved fully, because body and the breath are changing. So now look inside the heart, in the space, at a point, and start hammering. Start hammering Shantoham, 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 quick, fast, and loud. Mind is so much attached to the body so that it will continue to move the body. It's okay. Now it will be a very slight movement that you will feel it. Quick, fast, and loud. Shantoham, 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 Shantoham. Shantoham, 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 Shantoham. Inward moving tendency of the mind. See that? And now stop hammering, do nothing, and experience the change. The time comes, the mind gets absorbed deeply. So we have twofold purpose: inward moving tendency and destroying the impressions. They are expressed through the knowledge, means desire and action. So now look inside the belly button at a point in the space and start hammering. Same thing, Shantoham, 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 quick, fast, and loud. You will discover the mind is absorbed. We are nailing. That's why I use the word hammering. In Kundalini, it is used in a different way. quick, fast, and loud. And now stop this hammering. Recheck. Body is as it is. Mind is not showing any concern. The breath is normal. With every breath going in and out, drop the Shantoham. This time you dropping. Shantoham, Shantoham, Shantoham. You remember Shantoham, I'm the peace. The intellect knows that peace is a good space deep inside. Destroying the extreme attachment at the very subtler level with the body will not move the body at all, but it takes time. It takes time, it demands a regular practice. And now see, is the mind free? How to see it? You look inside the forehead, Shantoham. You find a sense of freedom. Look inside the heart, drop Shantoham there. Look inside the belly button. Either you can pick up all the three centers or one center, whatever your mind likes at a particular moment. That will give you a glimpse where the mind is located. You can pick up one, you can pick up all the three. Inward moving tendency of the mind, clarity in the mind, by an intellect, peace and happiness are inside. And the mind continuously living within, ready to merge with the real self to succeed in meditation. Do nothing, remain as you are. See the beauty. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside. Know your experiences, bring the hands down. I see the smile on faces, couple of people. How are you, Kate?
Very quiet, very still.
Beautiful. Very quiet and still. That makes us understand, oh, this is an involved and moving tendency of the mind. Even the entire world is full of chaos outside. Inward moving tendency of the mind. How are you, Brandy?
I'm doing fine. The meditation went pretty fast today, and I thought it was really like my most focus point was when you said we could focus on all three of the centers. I was like, I just got it then. And I had this nice moment of really intense focus.
Very good. That too is the inward moving tendency of the mind. Again, I am saying, this drop, dissolve, and destroy simply means inward tendency of the mind. 100%. Not seeking any happiness outside. But why it is not happening? Because of the impressions that we have accumulated for years and years. Real self has to do nothing. It is not seeking peace and happiness because it is of the nature of peace and happiness. So that is what we discussed, that what prompts the mind to seek happiness outside? There must be a seeker. There must be a seeker. There must be a driver to run the car. Car is a machine. Think of this. How are you, Lara?
I am good. It was really quiet for me. The meditation, I don't even know if I heard everything that you said.
Yeah.
But then when we did the Om Shanti, I had all the three centers kind of light up. So that was sort of cool to have that at the end.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, it's happening. How are you, Terry? Yeah, let us.
I was mostly about what was destroying the impressions.
Yeah.
I very the hammering. I saw it as like hordes and hordes of them. Like in the movies when there's a battle scene and there's hordes and hordes of monsters and they're throwing spears through them right and left. I thought, I have so many. I saw it like
That's
that.
good.
Like
That is wonderful.
So I just wanted to keep it up.
I will.
But there was no stillness except I heard what you said and I just kept my thoughts focused on what we were doing, and they got pulled away thousands of times, and I noticed what they were pulled to, which is mostly things that are not here.
Remind me, I will talk in the next session about the will. Why? Look at the will of the Terry. That is required. Those simple traits are required to succeed. It is not that, you... No, I'm not criticizing. It should be there to put some incense, to create a beautiful studio. I see the Lara studio is so humble, so good. Not too much of tantrums is there. No, to be very frank, I don't want, lot of stuff is there. Nothing is required. We need a will. I'll talk about that will, It came to my mind. So how are you, Antoinette?
I'm good. My mind was very busy until you had a center in on the spot between the forehead, your heart, and that's when I was able to calm everything down and and then it was over.
That's very good. So why I talked about the three centers? We have the mind covers the center of knowledge, that is forehead. Now that got opened up instantly. And it worked like dissolve, destroy, and drop all together. So it can happen on any of the three centers. So maybe one day my mind is pushing me with some unconscious desires that I do not know. And here comes the heart center, and when you focus there, and everything is gone. Sometime it is acting, mind is constantly trying to agitate the body. So that is the center of the belly. So you pointed out rightly. How are you, Vaibhav?
Sir, I'm good. It was simply peaceful and relaxing.
Very good. Wonderful. Peaceful and relaxing. How are you, sir?
Sir, very good, very fine. Very much relaxing.
I could see his face. That type of smile and calmness was not there a few weeks before.
Yes.
Any question today? Understanding is required. I can tell you, my master used to say, it's a music, I'm closing the music of Ashok. So my master used to say that once you are there, leave the master. Leave all the books. Burn them. Because you already achieved that. Who can tell you tell me any branch of knowledge and their expert who dares to tell you. Throw the teacher, throw the text. You are there. When you are there, you need not to study any text. No cult, no dogma, no belief. My master used to say that, no, it doesn't mean I love my teacher, so I live with it, but it has nothing to do with attachment. Remember this, it has nothing to do with attachment. So when I'm teaching you guys, it's a part of a tradition. So for the sake of tradition, I say that yes, I adore, I remember, but at the same time, to teach, I should be in contact with these texts, because these texts contains the knowledge. I should never leave. I should repeat it, even if it demands 50 repetitions. I should not leave it. Otherwise, you don't want to teach, forget it. Forget everything. Forget it, including this beard guy, because you are done. That is the tradition. Any question? No question. Thank you. Sometimes I get scared.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sometimes I get scared.
Namaste.
Namaste. No question.